What's up, guys? The MMA world is still trying to process everything that happened at the historic UFC White House event. There were shocking results, dramatic moments, and plenty of controversy. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria is recovering from serious injuries, but is already talking about a potential rematch in Spain. New details have also emerged about how Gaethje managed to survive Topuria's brutal body attacks. On top of that, Dana White has officially announced that Islam Makhachev will defend his lightweight title against Garry at UFC 330 this August in Philadelphia. We also have Alex Pereira responding to his controversial loss against Cyril Gane, Josh Hoyt calling for a fight with Pereira, and much more. So let's jump right into it. The worst-kept secret in the UFC is finally official. Islam Makhachev will defend his lightweight title against Garry at UFC 330 in Philadelphia. Dana White broke the news during an appearance on the Pat McAfee show.
You know, we're coming to Philly. We got Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry, and you know we got a great summer slated. So I'm looking forward to it.
And honestly, Dana seemed even more excited about the UFC finally returning to Philadelphia for the first time since 2019 than he did about the fight itself. The co-main event is also shaping up to be a huge one, with Mackenzie Dern taking on Jillian Robertson for the strawweight title. With a lineup like that, the summer is looking absolutely stacked for MMA fans.
He matches up with Islam Makhachev.
He does well with Islam on the stand-up because he's rangy, he's tricky, all those. But on the ground, he doesn't. He does okay, but he doesn't survive on the ground. I don't think. I mean, well, okay, he might survive 5 rounds, but he won't get the best of Islam on the ground. That I'm 100% sure about that. On the stand-up, he's pretty tricky. So one punch can change everything on that. One kick, one punch, one knee. You know, so that's a different story. But on the ground, I don't see him dominating. I see him surviving, possibly. So yeah, I can see that. But and then the takedown defense that he has is decent, but not great enough to stop Islam from taking him down. But again, you know, sometimes we'll go in there and we'll decide that we're gonna do this with Islam, and next thing you know, next round we'll say, okay, take him down now, or next thing you know, next round we'll go stand up because he's.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan had a lot to say about the UFC White House event on his podcast. Rogan called it the greatest night of fights in MMA history and praised the incredible atmosphere throughout the event. He also shared his thoughts on Ilia Topuria's performance, suggesting that Topuria emptied his gas tank while trying to finish Gaethje early in the fight. According to Rogan, that aggressive approach may have ultimately cost him as the fight moved into the later rounds.
That was the wildest experience that I've ever had in my 20-whatever years of calling combat sports. There's nothing even close. Nothing even close. It was the greatest night of fights of all time. The main event was the greatest fight of all time. It literally was the greatest fight of all time. Ilia Topuria, in many people's eyes, is the most skilled of the new generation, and the new generation is the most skilled of all time. And Ilia was like the top of the mountain. And most people thought that he was going to be too much, and he was too much for a while. And he almost took Justin out in the second round. And then Justin rallied. And then Ilia, it looked like he got really damaged in either the first or the second round. And he was having real trouble seeing out of one of his eyes. And then Justin started landing bombs in the third round. Ilia had slowed down quite a bit. It looked like he had really tried to finish Justin in the second. And sometimes when you try to finish a guy, you just hit the gas way too much and you can't recover in between rounds. And Justin recovered. And Justin started battering Ilia in the third and fourth. And by the end of the fourth round, Ilia quit on his stool.
If you've been wondering how Gaethje developed the ability to absorb devastating body shots, UFC veteran Drew Dober may have revealed the answer. According to Dober, Gaethje places a standing bounty on himself during training camps. He reportedly offers $500 in cash to any sparring partner who can successfully drop him with a body shot during training.
He has that championship mindset and heart. I mean, he gives out $500 to anybody that drops him with a body shot in sparring. I definitely have tried to earn that $500, so I know he can recover from that, and he did. And he battered Topuria's face. I mean, it looked horrible.
As crazy as that sounds, it actually makes a lot of sense when you look at how Gaethje survived some of Ilia Topuria's most brutal body attacks during their fight. The punishment Topuria delivered would have folded many fighters, yet Gaethje continued moving forward and never stopped applying pressure. His preparation clearly paid off when it mattered most. Following his knockout loss to Max Holloway, many people believed Gaethje was finished. Critics claimed he would never be the same fighter again and that his best days were behind him. But Gaethje refused to listen. Instead, he came back and made history. In many ways, his journey feels like something straight out of a Rocky movie. There was even a dominant villain-like figure standing in his way. Ilia Topuria, the undefeated champion from Georgia, was viewed by many as nearly unbeatable. Just like Rocky, Gaethje battled through setbacks, criticism, and disappointment before proving everyone wrong. His belief in himself and years of hard work eventually paid off. Honestly, the entire story feels like the perfect script for a Hollywood blockbuster, and if one day a movie is made about it, nobody should be surprised. But while Gaethje is enjoying his moment, Topuria now has a chance to begin his own comeback story. Every great fighter faces adversity, and this defeat could become one of the most important lessons of his career. The next time we see him inside the octagon, he may be a completely different fighter.
I think Ilia wins the rematch, and that's there's no knock on Justin at all. It's just like, obviously Ilia was a favourite for a reason, but yeah, I just think that Ilia, if he doesn't rush as much, fights at a little bit better distance, and then does what he usually does, sets up nice traps, he'll eventually find him. But yeah, being so aggressive is sort of what cost him, I believe.
And Ilia, I told you, pride comes before the fall. He was too cocky. He overlooked his opponent crazy, and he got humbled. And that's simple how it is. I think he's the better fighter than Gaethje, but he decided to let his pride get in before him. He thought he was beating me. He thought he was beating Terrence Crawford. He thought he could fight. I think he even said something about Canelo at one point, that he could maybe box him one day or something like that. I mean, this guy's head was out of this world. I mean, he was going crazy after everybody, and that's the truth.
He might never be the same fighter.
Might, yeah. Really?
Because we don't know. He's undefeated. He got beaten badly, right? And I'm a fan of Ilia Topuria. Not only the way that he fights, the way that he carries himself. He's a really cool guy. He's a gentleman. There's no controversy. He's a cool guy. I think Josh Hoke battled him a little bit at the press conference. He was a little bit off all week because of the stuff from Hoke, and he pushed Justin Gaethje. I think he felt, he let his emotions get in the way a little bit. However, when you lose a fight like that, you've been beaten. Like Prince Naseem Hamed. I mean, he was destroying everyone. Then he lost one fight.
Nastiest boxer.
And he was never the same again, right?
Yeah.
Now you can be beaten. There's that doubt in there. Who knows? Maybe he comes back and he's a better version of himself. Yeah. But we don't know until that happens.
Despite the loss, Topuria has received a tremendous amount of attention. Topuria's close friend, Pablo Motos, recently visited him and shared a worrying update on his condition. According to Motos, Topuria suffered a broken nose and fractures around both eye sockets. He revealed that Topuria can barely open his eyes right now due to the damage. Despite that, Topuria remains determined. According to Motos, Ilia looked at him and said, "Champions don't fall quietly. When we fall loudly."
It's happening so fast. We're like computers processing codes, and you're constantly making adjustments. And what really happened, I was able to reset his feet every 1 to 2 seconds. I was very diligent about it, and I fought a perfect fight. He was completely caught off guard. He was not expecting it. That obviously is another part of this whole game, is the expectations. I've said it.
Took to Instagram to send a massive shout out to his fellow Arizona native, Justin Gaethje, after that historic performance.
Hey, Justin, this is Don Frye, Arizona boy. I used to be me. I used to be the toughest fighter in Arizona, but now it's you. Congratulations, man. Hell of a fight there at the White House. You are the man.
You retire. Where do you go from here? You're never going to beat this. You're never, ever going to top this. You've done it all. BMF champ, interim champ, just beat the #1 pound for pound. There's no topping this. It's impossible. You were talking about retiring. You said, I'm going to retire if I don't get a title fight. The UFC said, all right, we'll give it to you. Usually that doesn't work like that. We cannot beat this performance. We cannot beat this spectacle. This would be the best send-off of all time of all sports. The #1 thing he should do is walk away. He made probably $5 to $6 million minimum, just in bonuses, because crypto gave him $1 million, right? And the UFC gave him 800-something million. I'm sorry, 800,000. Well, that's 1.8 there. Then what the UFC paid him, a few million for the title shot. I assume 5 to 10 mil ballpark. All he does is golf, has his dog, has his girl. The best thing you can do is walk away, dude. Walk away.
Justin Gaethje recently sat down with Pat McAfee and shared his thoughts on why Ilia Topuria struggled during the fight. According to Gaethje, the biggest issue wasn't physical at all. He believes Topuria's biggest enemy was his own expectations and ego. Gaethje suggested that once things started going wrong inside the cage, those expectations became difficult to handle, ultimately affecting his performance as the fight progressed. And that's all for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily MMA news, updates, and fight coverage.